What's going on, YouTube? Good morning, or whatever time you guys are tuning in. Thank you for watching. Heading into week 7 growth phase operation. Supersize me. Let's grow, baby. So this week we got pretty exciting changes because we're bumping the food through the roof. Cool. So quick updates to my plan. Up 500 calories on training days. So we are now pushing new territory at 4,500 calories for the first time in this growth phase. Super excited because I'm always starving. I was waking up, my stomach was growling. So new totals for you guys. We're up to 312 protein, 69 grams of fat, and 661 carbs on training days. Our rest days got to bump up too, which is good because my last rest day, I was going hypoglycemic in the middle of the day. Like I was getting cold sweats and I just felt so terrible. And as soon as I ate, like it perked right back up. So definitely needed some more carbs going in. Also got the fresh cut last week. So I'm kind of feeling it, liking it. Yeah, you know the vibe. So we're feeling good. So protein on rest days, 277, 66 fat, 463 carbs. The only difference in the protein is just trace proteins from the amount of rice and other carb sources that I'm eating on a training day. It's not that I'm purposefully doing different amounts of protein. The meat, the protein powders, all that stays the same meal to meal. Only difference really is the carb amounts. Whew. I'm just so excited today because today is also leg day A. We got squats and I cannot wait to push it on the hack squat today and pivot press. A little bit of a newer session for you guys that you guys will get to see today. I'm excited to film it. But reason we're pushing up so much. So we actually saw my body weight last week. I started at 197.4. This week I weighed in today at 194.6. So it is time for a food bump. Don't really know too much what happened. I look way leaner and tighter. But my size is definitely still there. Definitely dropped some water out of my face as well. It could just be an initial fill up. My face got pretty watery. My stomach got pretty watery. Upper body as well even. The only thing that didn't really get watery was my legs, which is weird. My legs are staying really, really lean, which is weird for me. When I was coming down, I didn't even see vascularity in my legs until like 185-ish. Right now I'm sitting around 195 and my legs look leaner than they did arguably on stage. So besides a little bit of feathering, a little bit of water I could drop off. But I wanted to talk a little bit about today why that might be when sometimes you increase food, you lose weight, start losing scale weight anyway. Not that I'm losing tissue. You start training harder, you start moving more, and your body adapts. Like as you build more muscle, it is way more expensive for you to keep that muscle mass on. So you need more food. And honestly, the little tweaks that I've had in my training program that I started about 2 weeks ago, I think is allowing me to drive so much more stimulus into the muscle that I'm running through my calories like crazy. But we'll see if this trend continues as we increase the food this week. Get some higher food days in. We'll see what happens. But ultimate goal right now is to start pushing this body weight up and start growing. But I'm also not against it staying really tight like it is right now. Like arguably posing this morning like best picks in a really long time. So I'm really excited with the spot that we're in. This just means we're going to have a longer runway for this growth phase. But like I was saying, your body will adapt to the amount of calories you're eating. So it's the same way if you're eating 1,200 calories for 8 months, you're eventually going to stop losing weight when, like, if you did the math that everyone talks about, use this equation. Equations don't really work. You got to find where your maintenance is, and you'll be able to balance your calories up or down from there. But, in any note, your body adapts to the calories you're taking. So, your body likes homeostasis. If you're doing the same thing, same routine, I've not had an off-plan meal since my show. So if you're staying with the same routine, your body's going to catch up. This just means my body is really using the nutrients that it's getting. So I love that. I have never felt this good. Like my body's actually using everything that I'm eating. This is the first time I've ever felt this. So I'm really, really excited in the place that we're in, and we're going to have a really good runway for growth now. So tightened up over the last week or so. Now we get a food bump, and we're going to see if we could put some size on. Just because your scale weight isn't moving doesn't mean you're not building lean tissue either. Like, I'm having a crazy recomposition right now, so I'm going to just run with it. It's not always about putting more pounds on the scale. If I can show up day to day and my physique looks tighter, I look bigger, I look fuller, I'm okay with that if the scale weight's not moving. It's always going by your visual versus, yes, the data is helpful, but you can't always just go by the scale weight number. You got to go by the visual too, because 195 lean, tight, hard, where you feel like you're looking really big, really good, versus a 195 where you look a little bit softer. That's a very, very different place to be in, especially in your growth phase. So like right now, we're already 6 weeks in, and I still look as lean as when we started, and I'm up 5 or 6 pounds. I'm very, very happy with that. Definitely want to get at least another 15 pounds on me before we kill this growth phase. So we'll see what happens over this next week. But today you guys are going to see my leg day A. And guys, none of my meals change. It's just more rice, more cream of rice. It's more of the same. It is boring. It is monotonous. But that is what works in bodybuilding. As always, that's your key. So I'm actually going to go grab my second coffee. Have about an hour and a half until I'm going to go train. So second coffee, second meal are about to go down. Then chill out for a little bit, disconnect, get zoned in for the session, because today we are sending it to the moon. But I'll catch you guys on the way to the gym. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rocking. We're feeling good. Let's grow. Alrighty, guys. It is the best time of the day. We are going to train legs. Today, you ever just wake up and you're like, today's going to be one of those sessions. Well, that's how I'm feeling today. Today's going to be one of those sessions where I'm going to smash every single exercise. I am feeling fantastic. This is like peak. We are going to absolutely unload on these exercises. So I'm so excited to train. This is definitely a much needed, because we are feeling outrageous. I'm scared for these kids. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to really lock in today. It's like every other day. Training is sacred to me, man. It's one of those things, like, these are my 2 hours where I'll do anything that anyone needs the rest of the day. But for these 2 hours, pretty much, for these 2 hours, I'm not a big talker in the gym. I'll say what's up, but obviously I'm respectful. I'll say hi to anyone. But I like to be so in my zone. I don't mind having a training partner here or there, but most of the time I do enjoy training on my own. It's like the one time of the day that I'm not talking to anyone. I can just turn off from the world, and I can just be. It's the one place where it's like no one judges you. It's just for me, in my head, like, I know what I'm doing. I can just run up and just get after it and not have a worry in the world. The rest of the day is like you're dealing with real stuff. So my gym time is sacred, but I want you guys to do the session today, film as much as I can. Sometimes on the weekends it is a little crowded over at the Mecca, so we'll see what we can film for you guys, and we're going to smash it either way. Just know, guys, I do this. I'm really recording these videos so I hope someone learns something from it, and it'll be really cool to look back in a few years. I'm always going to post one a week with my updates and something that I'm learning about that week, or just something I've been thinking about in the gym. This way I can look back in a few years and be like, yeah, that's when the mindset changed. You're like, oh man, I'm not checking that box anymore. I got to start checking that box again. So sometimes need those little reminders, little nudges, and it'll just be really cool to see how my progress changes as an athlete over the years. So I'm really excited for these next few years, man, because we made a ton of progress in year one, and now it's only going to get better. We're only going to level up more and more. And training is the driver, and we're getting really good at our training. No more ego, be glad at the door. When you have an ego, that's why you see people in the gym that look the same year after year after year. They add 2 pounds of stage weight. Dude, you're just not training right. I'm not saying you're not training hard, but you're not doing it right. You gotta recover, you gotta train, you gotta eat, you gotta sleep. That's it. Monotony, baby. So I'm gonna start sipping on this pump, and we're gonna get after it. Let's drink it. Starting off the session, we had seated hamstring curls. I always like to do this. It helps warm my knees up. Joints feel good before we squat. Plus, hamstrings, you can never have big enough hamstrings, and it doesn't really affect me when I'm doing quad biceps movements like a hack squat. So, focus here. Drive your knees up into the pad. Do not just let your legs hang out there. If you just let your legs hang out there, you're not gonna wind up engaging your hamstring as much. You really want to drive your knees up and drive your hips down into the seat. So I'm really locked in. You guys see my back isn't moving around. My brace is absolutely on point with this set, and that allows me to really fire my hamstrings. Quick little pause right before the stretch. I'm keeping tension in the hamstring. Right when I'm about to lose it, that's when I stop. Quick pause, change direction, control that change of direction, sweep, and then squeeze. Always think that, sweep, then squeeze. So this was a really, really tough set, but actually went up from last week here, so I'm very happy with how this set went. Really, really good way to set the tone for the day. It's also just, if I did this after my hack squat, I get so amped up for hack squat, leg press, I wouldn't have anything in the tank. Then we have our top set of hack squats. Went up to 2 1/4 here. Not really too concerned with the weight. For me, I'm such a hip dominant mover that I'm really trying to work on getting the most knee flexion I can. I think we did a really good job with this. So, biggest thing I've been changing and focusing on is keeping my brace. Common theme here, guys, common theme. Keeping that neutral spine, sitting straight down to my heels, getting big toe and heel pressure, exploding out of the hole, quick pause, and that was a grinder, but it's a good set, good set. And we got one more, nice and controlled, shoot out, and good. I might have had one more rep there. Just kidding, we did have one more rep. Wow, we definitely took the set pretty close to failure. Yeah, my quads were done after that, as you guys can see. Moving on, we have pivot press. The reason I'm doing this after my hack squat, this drops off the load in a stretched position. So hack squat trains you more in the overall tension throughout the whole movement, whereas in a pivot press, it's more in the contracted position. So this allows me to really fire my quads out of the hole, because it's not loaded as heavy in the bottom. Think of like why people use the reverse band and stuff like that. Essentially, the way a pivot press is built, it deloads a little bit in the stretch so that you can get a nice explosive contraction and really focus on that contracted position. But as always, nothing trains your quads contracted like a leg extension, so really take advantage of that. And again, try to keep your brace, keep your butt staying on the pad, don't let your hips roll up. Just go until max knee flexion. You don't have to have your ankles touching your butt. Of course, if you have the mobility for it, go for it. I do not. Moving on, we had our leg extensions. This finishes off my quad work for the day. Just 2 sets here. We did 3 sets of hack, 3 sets of pivot. Might adjust that and do 2 sets of one of those and 3 sets of leg extension. But we're taking advantage of that squeeze, guys. Get that full contraction. Same thing as our leg curl. We want to think sweep and then squeeze. Sweep and then fire hard. Otherwise, you're just going to jam on your knees. And don't over flex your toes. Yes, your toes, knees, and hips should all be in line, but don't over flex them towards the ceiling. That is when you're going to start feeling it more in your shins and your knees. We want to feel our quads firing. So keep your toes towards the ceiling, but don't over flex, because again, you're just going to wear your joints out versus our muscles. What is our goal with training? Get big muscles. Big muscles. All right, so, and again, treat every exercise like it's the biggest exercise that you're doing. Don't just get hyped for your leg press, your hack squats, your big compounds. Treat your isolations the same way, but different. Push it until the muscle cannot fire anymore. All right, then we moved on to a single leg curl. I really like this machine. It helps me hit more of the upper part of my hamstring, which I don't really feel in a seated or lying leg curl. So what I'm thinking here is keeping my butt back, keeping my spine as neutral as possible the entire time, and driving my quad forward into the pad. So trying to get that nice squeeze at the top, control, kill momentum at the bottom. Biggest thing, guys, doing any isolation movement, any compound movement, stop using momentum. Kill that momentum. You don't need to lift 9,000 pounds to get big. If that was the case, powerlifters would have the biggest builds, and we would all have to be deadlifting and squatting 700 pounds, and that's just not the case. If you look at some of the biggest guys, they're not moving nearly the load that you would think that they would. So, name of the game, guys, intent, control, accurate. And that was exactly what we did today. We kept every rep in the target muscle, and the pump was outrageous. Felt amazing. Alrighty, guys, almost forgot to do my session debrief. That was nasty, as you guys saw. I still cannot even bend my legs. Don't mind my hair. Just jumped in a quick shower on my way out of the gym. But that was gnarly, guys. I don't have much to say after that. If any of you guys know, after a nasty leg day, brain function is very minimal. Look at my eyes. Wow, we are pushing. But as always, guys, check out my sponsors. Thanks for watching. Check out Core Nutritionals, code John10. Pride Foods, code John10. We are starving. Body's using the carbs. Legs are pumped. It's way too hot in New York. But there's work to be done. A Rolling Stone gains no moss, baby. So we're going to keep working. Check out the next video next week. Stay tuned for the updates. Let's see what this body wants to do with the new food. Alrighty, guys, John out.